What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Powerhouse Mentality podcast and another week of the Powerhouse Community Facebook group training. So if you're new here, every single week we do a Powerhouse Facebook Live in the private Facebook community that is always in the podcast show notes. And it flip-flops. So one week it'll be a mental toughness or mindset or discipline-based topic. The following week it'll be a nutrition or training-based topic. So this week we are talking nutrition, and we are talking specifically, does where you get your protein from matter? So does it matter if I have plant protein or does it matter if I have animal protein? That's really the biggest thing we're going to talk about. It's kind of like a plant versus animal protein debate here. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up was because there was a recent meta-analysis that was released proving, and I'll share the results later. But basically, first, let's talk about what a meta-analysis is, right? Because a meta-analysis is one of the most valuable sources of data, because what it is it's examined data from several studies to determine an overall trend. So in this specific meta-analysis, it took 33 different studies, examined them all, and determined the overall trend to be that animal protein is superior on a gram-by-gram basis compared to plant protein. Now, if this is a huge shock to you, I'm so sorry. But for most of you who are watching this, who are listening to this, this probably isn't a huge shock to you. But let's talk about it, right? So what is a protein on like a simple, really educational level, right? Protein is just a string of amino acids, and these amino acids have different functions in the body, mainly growth and repair. However, some amino acids are better for growth and repair of the gut lining, some are better for growth and repair of hair, skin, and nails, some are better for growth and repair of muscle tissues, which help trigger muscle protein synthesis, which is how you build muscle, thus how you burn body fat and earn results. Now, not all proteins are the same. They all have different strings of these essential amino acids or different concentrations, because in order for it to be a complete protein, it needs to have all of the essential amino acids. Now, unfortunately, most plant proteins do not have all essential amino acids, so they have to be combined with other plant sources to make a complete protein, which is why if you look at the back of a vegan protein powder, you'll see they don't just use one protein source. They use rice and pea protein. They use rice protein plus watermelon seed plus pumpkin seed protein. They're not just using rice protein. They're not just using pea protein. Because in order to get the essential amino acids that will help to trigger muscle protein synthesis, which is how you build muscle, thus how you burn body fat, thus how you earn results, then like if you're not getting that trigger, then why would you take the protein powder, right? So the biggest thing to understand is that every single protein source is going to have a different concentration of amino acids that are going to play a role in how they trigger muscle protein synthesis. Plus, every single protein source is going to have a different bioavailability, which basically means that they are going to be absorbed and utilized differently. So if something has an easy bioavailability, it means that it is easily absorbed and utilized in the body, which is phenomenal, because if something isn't bioavailable or isn't easily bioavailable, that means that your body is going to struggle to absorb and utilize the protein that you're giving it. And if you're having gastric distress because of the protein source that you're taking, you're not going to get the benefits from the protein source because you're not going to be able to properly absorb and utilize it, right? That's why when you're taking poor quality protein powders, like really cheap protein powders, the reason why your stomach feels like a chemical lab is because the protein source is so cheap and damaged that it is not bioavailable easily. So your body is struggling to break it down and absorb it. Thus, you're not getting the benefit from it. Plus, if you're having inflammation in your gut, that's going to cause a wide variety of problems that are not going to lead to you losing body fat or building lean muscle. But let's talk about this meta-analysis, because I love studies. And if you guys know me, I am a huge nerd. But I think that this is a really important one for you guys to hear about. because it talks specifically about this topic, which has been argued for years in the fitness community, because so many people have gone to a plant-based vegan protocol because they think it's the healthier route, when in all reality, it's the complete opposite. Let me just start here. You are an animal. You are a human being. You are an animal. You are not a plant. You thrive when you eat animal protein. I've had so many clients over the last 12 years of my career who have come to me, whether they were actually vegan at the time or have done vegan in the past, telling me that they've had horrible nutrient deficiencies, felt like garbage, and had their hormones in the dumpster because of their eating habits when they went vegan. When they switched back to eating meat, specifically red meat, they felt way better, their hormone profile looked way better, and they had more energy, focus, drive to be able to do the things they wanted to do. They were stronger, they were healthier, and they had more energy. Which one do you want? Because so many people think that vegan is the trend to go with, and I don't know why, and a lot of it comes down to, like, if it's for moral issues, that's your own thing. But if you think that vegan is going to be the healthier approach, it is not. Protein and fats are both essential nutrients. Carbohydrates technically are not essential. This means, no, it does not mean carbs are bad for you and that you should not eat carbs, because carbs are our preferred fuel source. But if you were dying in the wilderness and you were eating only plants that considered only carbohydrates, you would die. If you ate only animals, you would live. That's the difference. So the reason why animal protein is better on a gram-by-gram basis, so if we were to compare 50 grams of animal protein and 50 grams of plant protein, the animal protein is going to be more easily bioavailable, so it's going to be absorbed and used much easier in the body, digested much easier on the body, and it's going to have a high concentration of amino acids that are responsible for muscle building, strength, and recovery. Okay? Now, the studies that were examined showed that in some cases, 50% compared, right? So that means that you would have to take double the amount of plant protein to get the same benefit from the animal protein. It was 50% more easily absorbed and utilized, the animal protein, compared to the plant protein. And it triggered muscle protein synthesis 50% more than the plant protein. So that's crazy, right? But let's focus a little bit more on plant sources of protein, right? So we think of like beans, quinoa, tofu, things like that. Now, plant sources of protein are going to have more calories, more volume, more fiber. They're going to be harder to break down and digest in our body. But let me give you an example. So if we had 50 grams of protein from chicken breast, that would be about 320 calories, and it would be only 7 ounces of chicken. Okay? Now, if we got 50 grams of protein from beans, that would be 3.5 cups of beans, 840 calories, and 154 grams of carbs along with that 50 grams of protein. First of all, if you can eat 3.5 cups of beans in one sitting without feeling like you are going to actually explode in your abdomen, good luck. I mean, that's a skill right there. Because I don't know about you guys, but if I eat one serving of beans, I'm bloated. So the thing is, like I spoke about throughout this, if you're having gastric distress, if you're having inflammation in your gut because you're not able to properly absorb and utilize what you're eating, aka you're getting bloating, gas, issues going to the bathroom, whether it be constipation or diarrhea, or cramping, then you're not going to be able to actually use the protein, use the food that you're eating, and use the nutrients to be able to do what you want to do with them. Gut inflammation causes issues throughout the entire body. Good luck losing body fat and building lean muscle when you have significant inflammation in the gut because you're eating foods that your body cannot properly absorb and digest easily, which is why, again, animal protein is so much better in this situation for the majority of people. I understand that not everybody is created equal. However, the average person needs to consume around 150 grams of protein. Could you imagine eating 150 grams of protein from only plant sources and staying at or under your calorie goal if you're trying to lose body fat. It's extremely difficult. And again, it comes with a lot of volume and a lot of additional calories. People say peanut butter is a protein source. I want to emphasize that peanut butter is not a protein source. Peanut butter is a fat source with a little bit of protein in it. It has 7 grams of protein per 2 tablespoons, but it also has 200 calories per 2 tablespoons. Could you imagine if you were eating 50 grams of protein from peanut butter? How much calories that would actually be? It would be really difficult for you to stay in a calorie deficit, which is the only way to lose body fat and reach your goals. So, look, if you want to eat plant-based because of any sort of dietary issues, or you have some sort of a moral issue when it comes to eating animals, that's your decision. But for those of you out there who are constantly being drawn into these fad diets like keto, like vegetarian, like veganism, like carnivore, I want you to understand that it is not the healthiest approach to be vegan or vegetarian. And I say this because I've seen so many of my own clients who have come to me saying that they've tried it in the past and their hormones were in the dumpster, they felt like shit, and they weren't able to build muscle or recover or earn the results that they want. So the most important thing to remember is that you're an animal. We're meant to eat animal protein. And I'm going to stand by that. Now, for a really long time, and I'll tell a little bit of a personal story, I didn't eat red meat. And I didn't eat red meat because when I had my eating disorder, I cut it out and then I was afraid to add it back in because when I had my autoimmune, I had a doctor tell me that I shouldn't eat it because we don't know what's causing your issues, so we might as well just do an elimination diet. So we eliminated everything, basically, and I still didn't feel better. But it took me up until last year, not even a year ago, to start adding red meat and steak back into my life. And I have never felt better. I've never been stronger. I've never been able to recover faster. And I've seen it happen to way more other people, a lot of girls that I coach, because a lot of girls just, we lean more towards like the lean proteins, and guys do this too. You want to get the leanest source of protein because you think something's wrong with fats, when in all reality, there's nothing wrong with fats. It just has to do with where it's coming from and the amount that you're intaking. So remember, keep things simple when it comes to your nutrition. Keep things simple when it comes to the foods that you're eating. Whole foods are always going to be your best option. Protein, animal sources of protein, super easy. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't think that you have to have a name to your diet, because in all reality, when you have a name to your diet, it usually means that it's temporary and you're not going to adhere to it long enough to actually sustain the results that you want. Instead, look at this as a lifestyle. Look at this as something that you could do for the rest of your life if you wanted to, because then you're actually going to change your perspective towards the journey. You're going to find passion in the process instead of always focusing on the outcome and being obsessed with the weight goal. And when you can focus on being stronger instead of becoming smaller, you will achieve the body that you want. And it all starts with eating animal protein. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys. If it was, comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Make sure to give this video a like. And I want to just remind you guys that we dropped the Powerhouse Essentials pack, which is basically you get a t-shirt, you get a performance hoodie, you get a hat, and it's $15 less than if you were to order all of these things on their own. Now, these are like the staples to the Powerhouse Mentality brand. We have a lot of big things in the works that are coming towards you guys, but this is the essential pack that I think every single person should have. And the reason being is because, well, I'm fucking obsessed with them, but it's more than just apparel. When you wear this logo, when you wear these clothes, I want you to remember what they stand for. They stand for never stop learning, keeping the commitments that you make to yourself, and seeking intentional discomfort in order to become the best version of you. We are fuel and gear for the mentally tough. And if that is you, you need this stuff. So, guys, if you have any questions, always let me know. But outside of that, go out and do one thing that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be. And I'll see you guys next week.